What's going on, people? Ryan.Fagan, broker owner of RD Real Estate, and I'm at my flip property here in Medford Lakes, New Jersey. And I actually wanted to talk to you guys today about some of the downsides of hard money loans. So for example, on this property that we have here, it's one of the biggest deals that we've ever done. Purchase price $465, thinking that the ARV is about $950, but we'll see what the market says once everything is done. We're in the final weeks of getting this property done, and I've been stressing out and just, you know, it's just been, when you're carrying a big loan, the weight of it can be a bit stressful. So I kind of wanted to talk about some of the downsides to hard money loans, because yes, a hard money loan is pretty easy to get on a flip property. It makes doing a flip very accessible to many people, but you do have a couple things that you have to consider and understand what you're getting into. So that's what I want to talk about. The first consideration is cash flow issues. So when you close a hard money loan, they put the money in an escrow account that you're going to use for the rehab. But when you're hiring contractors and stuff like that, depending on what your payment terms are with people, you may have to pay a certain amount up front. You're going to have to buy materials and things like that. So if you close on a property and don't have a lot of cash reserves, you're kind of screwed. Yes, they will come out and inspect and give you the money once the work is completed, but you got to get the work completed before they'll release the draw money to you. So it creates a cash flow issue. And the bigger problem is that if you don't have enough cash reserves and say you can only get the roof done, and then you get the money from the roof, and then you take that money and start working on the interior or the windows, it slows down your project because you're not able to have everyone out at the property at the same time, because it's much more efficient to be able to hire everybody at the same time for doing the exterior, doing the landscaping, doing the interior work that you got to do, the rough plumbing, the rough electrical, all at the same time. This makes your project go faster. Obviously, if you're on a hard money loan, time is definitely money, because you're paying interest every month, interest only. And so the longer that the project goes on, the more money you're losing, or the less money that you're going to make at the end. So time is super important. And essentially, because of that, when you're on a hard money loan, it could reduce your margin because of that reason. And that's the funny thing, when you use financing, you make more cash on cash return, but these are hidden costs, or not really hidden costs, but some factors that you should consider. This can be remedied by having more money in reserve. But for example, on this project that we're doing, we stretched out our budget quite a bit to be able to do it, and I still think it was the right decision, but we are dealing with some of the consequences of that, like slowing down the project because we can't afford to pay everybody all at the same time because of the draw system. The second consideration is that it does make your offers a little bit less attractive versus cash buyers, of course, because even though the loan is pretty easy to get, they still have to do an appraisal. And from about 4 or 5 projects that we have done, when they do the subject to appraisal, basically, you're telling them what your rehab budget is. Basically, an appraiser is going to give you what they think the ARV is. It's always come in short. And because that value comes in short, they're only giving you a certain loan to value based off of that number, which in this case on this project was a lot less than what we projected. So our appraisal came in for the ARV at $750,000, and we think this property is going to sell for $950,000. So it takes a lot of confidence to go against the appraiser, but we kind of know how our projects go and how the property is going to look at the end, and the appraiser is always a lot more conservative. So we're thinking that we're going to have an extra, basically like $100,000 in our rehab budget that gets taken away at the last minute, a week before closing. And that's how you get into a cash flow problem, because these are things that we didn't anticipate. I'm just sharing my experience of what I'm doing. I'm not some hotshot. I'm not trying to say I'm the best out here. I'm just sharing my experience and what we're doing, and if that helps somebody, that is the goal. I'm not trying to act like I'm some wizard of house flipping or anything like that. So I'm just literally sharing what we're doing and the problems that we're encountering, with the expectation that if anybody finds this video, it'll help them. Another issue is just when you're carrying a lot of debt, it's just for your lifestyle, it's not the best feeling, because we have a $460,000 loan that we got to pay back. And, when there's delays, for example, on this property, we had a lot of delays because of permits. They wanted an architect for certain things that we normally don't need an architect for. And so every delay costs you a lot of money. So that's just in the back of your mind, oh man, this is costing me, $4,000 a month basically. And so the stress level is a lot higher, the risk is higher because you're taking on financing. This is just information that I've gathered from doing a good amount of flips, especially on this project, which we ran into a bunch of those issues. That's why I'm talking about it. And hopefully this information is helpful. And by no means am I saying that you should not take out a hard money loan, especially people starting out. That's probably the only way you're going to do it, because how are you going to amass the money to be able to do these projects? But what I am saying is that pay attention to the cash flow and understand what you're getting into, because it is a liability and it is a risk, and you're playing with fire anytime you're taking a lot of debt on. So I just want early or new investors to understand some of those things. So again, hopefully this information was helpful. I wonder what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.